And Wenzel's is your home of the Joey Jones Show here at Wenzel's on Airport Boulevard. Glad they are having us here this year. The Joey Jones Show presented by Bud Light. Brought to you on UTV 44. Pat Greenwood, Joey Jones, about to be joined by one of your assistant coaches. First, though, let's talk about the NC State defense. You know, this is a team that got hit in the mouth pretty quickly against Tennessee. 22 points in the first quarter, and then after that, they really settled down. This is a good defense we're playing.
They are very much improved. If you look at their team and from last year to this year, the biggest improvement they've made is on defense, especially the defensive front. We know about their secondary. They got an All-American corner, right. Great players back there, but their defensive front is really good. They gave up 7 points last week against UConn. Right. And UConn, you know, they're a pretty good football team, so we understand how good they are on defense.
Yeah, you mentioned that secondary. David Amerson specifically led the nation in interceptions last year. He's tough.
He is. He's a tall guy, too. I mean, he's probably about 6'3", and he's got some good range about him and a very good athlete.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure that Amerson has been forefront on the man to my left's mind because glad to have Jerry Mack here. He's the wide receivers coach, newest member of the South Alabama staff, joining us on the Orthopedic Group Coaches Corner. First of all, welcome. Your first Joey Jones show.
No doubt. I'm excited to be here.
Glad to have you. You know, we talked about that NC State secondary specifically, but defensively everywhere. I mean, they're just a good defense.
You're exactly right. You know, one thing about it that jumps out at you, like you said, is their secondary. You know, one of the top secondaries not only in ACC but also in the country. You know.
So how do we make inroads against a team like that that is solid everywhere?
You know, one of the things that we have to do offensively, especially at the receiver position, is be precise. You know, we can't afford to not get to our depth on our routes or not be aligned up, you know, specifically like we're supposed to be. We have to do a great job of throwing and catching the football and, you know, breaking tackles in the secondary.
Yeah, I talked with Coach about our offense just a little while ago, and it's one of those things that, you know, we would put together great plays, we just couldn't put them back to back against Nichols, right?
Consistency.
Yeah.
You know, consistency is the constant reminder to those guys. You know, we got to be precise. We got to be consistent in doing everything that we've been coached to do.
Yeah, you take a look at some of the wide receivers you got to work with, and you're not lacking for bodies. I mean, you got a bunch of guys to work with,
exactly.
Don't you?
We got a good depth of receivers here in South Alabama.
And Coach, how have you seen the wide receiver position specifically just grow as you've been here?
They've grown every year. I think they are a very experienced group. Obviously, most of them are juniors, and they've been here as their 4th year of college football. And they're very good. They're great to work with. And they're good athletes and do a heck of a job getting open and catching the ball.
What do you teach specifically as a wide receivers coach? Is it precision? Is it timing? Is it route running? Or is it just kind of a combination of everything?
You know, it's a combination of everything. You know, paying attention to small details, you know, where to be. All of it about timing with the quarterback. There's a lot of routes on there with the quarterback to make sure our timing is correct. There's a lot of individual work to make sure we're working the right techniques, how to beat press coverage, how to sit down and set on zone coverage, and things like that.
And you talk about that precision. You know, in our business, 5 seconds makes all the difference in the world. In your business, 1 yard makes all the difference in the world. You're supposed to run a 7-yard route. Right. You're running an 8-yard route. That changes the ball game, doesn't it?
You know, it's a game of inches like you always hear. And that 10th of a second that we're not where we're supposed to be could lead to interception, especially this week against a secondary so talented.
And we have 2 different quarterbacks that we've been rotating back with Bennett and Matheny. One's right-handed, one's left-handed. How much of a adjustment do the receivers have to make? Because, you know, one's tailing this way, one's tailing this way.
Well, the biggest adjustment, you know, Ross Matheny is a left-handed quarterback.
Right, exactly.
So the spin is a little bit different off the ball. So those guys have to spend a little bit extra time with Ross, maybe catching and throwing, you know, after practice and before practice.
How difficult is it to catch a lefty's ball?
You know, it's not necessarily just different, that much different, but it is a different spin. So you do have to get that, you know, that technique down a little bit.
You know, he could play a little wide receiver in his day. Did you?
He's pretty doggone good.
Yeah, has he tried out for this job? I mean, he may have a year or 2 left.
You know, he got a little age on our guys. I don't want him to get out there and embarrass him.
You are a former Arkansas State player, too,
sir.
by the way. You're not going to let those guys beat us, are you?
I'm surely not. You know, it's always one of those games you got circled on your calendar, and I definitely assure you it's one of those.
And for you, just this experience coming to South Alabama, how has it been for your career, and how much have you enjoyed it so far?
I really have enjoyed it. You know, not only the community here in South Alabama, I'm glad to be a part of a young program that's growing, and hopefully I can help lay the foundation for them.
He seems difficult to get along with, Coach.
Yeah, he is. He's a bad guy. Yeah. We're glad to have him, no doubt about it.
What has he brought to the staff?
Number one, he understands receiver play extremely well. Coaches the guys up, has a great demeanor with them, and really cares about them. And also, as far as a staff guy, he blends in well with us, and he throws in what he thinks about what we ought to do in the passing game, and everybody listens. It really works well with the staff, and you got to have that when you have a staff, and we're real close. And I think that he's really fit in because of that.
I've got that on tape. If you want to get a raise out of this, just get with me after the show, all right? Hey, Coach, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the time. All right. Well, the Sun Belt Conference took a large chunk of the national media this past week because of some win in Little Rock. UL Monroe really stole the show. We'll take a look back at that game and take a look ahead at what is ahead for the Sun Belt Conference today. That's later on the Joey Jones Show, presented by Bud Light.